Most professional footballers end their careers in their early 30s, either due to injury problems or they are unable to keep up with the modern game physically. However, some true legends of the sport have gone on to defy expectations and are still dominating the sport 20 years after their debut. Where else to start other than Cristiano Ronaldo, arguably the greatest player of all time? Cristiano originally burst onto the scene when he was just 18 years old after impressing Sir Alex Ferguson in a preseason friendly. 20 years later, at age 38, Cristiano has just scored 54 goals for club and country in 2023. After originally signing for Manchester United as a somewhat unknown winger, Sir Alex nurtured him into becoming one of the greatest wingers the Premier League has ever seen. So much so that in 2008, Ronaldo was officially the best player in the world after winning the Ballon d'Or at just 23 years old. Less than a year later, he became the world's most expensive player by signing for Real Madrid in 2009, where he enjoyed an incredibly successful career. At Real Madrid, he would go on to win it all, most notably 2 La Ligas, 5 Champions Leagues, and would pick up 4 more Ballon d'Or by the age of 32, all whilst competing side by side with Lionel Messi. He left Madrid in 2018 when he was 33 years old. For 99% of players, that is the age they will slow down and get ready for retirement. Ronaldo is different to most players. He went on to sign for Juventus for over 100 million euros, where he scored over 100 goals for the club in a 3-year spell, winning Footballer of the Year twice. After being mismanaged by Erik ten Hag, despite scoring 18 league goals in a season at the age of 36, Ronaldo is now playing for Al Nassr after securing one of the biggest contracts in football history. As mentioned earlier, Cristiano is still banging in the goals at age 38. In fact, he has scored more goals since turning the age of 30 than he managed to in the 12 years of professional football before, scoring over 400 goals for club and country. That is more than the likes of Wayne Rooney or Didier Drogba managed in their whole career. Another legendary striker who aged like fine wine in his career was Zlatan Ibrahimovic. In fact, Zlatan's career was so long that he managed to score in all of the past 4 decades from 1999 to 2023, scoring over 570 career goals. Just like Cristiano, after turning 30 is when Zlatan too scored most of his career goals, scoring over 300 club goals. Since turning 30, Zlatan went on to win 16 more major trophies in his career, including 4 league titles whilst playing for PSG. Zlatan enjoyed his most successful stint of his career, winning 12 out of the 16 trophies whilst in Paris. He scored over 150 goals for PSG over the age of 30, even finishing 4th in the 2013 Ballon d'Or. He didn't just stop in his 30s, Zlatan was still firing in the goals into his 40s, becoming Serie A's oldest ever goal scorer when he scored in a 3-1 defeat to Udinese in March 2023 at age 41. Sadly, Ibra has since retired in the past year at 41 years old after an incredible 22 years playing professional football. Another player who keeps going year after year is Luka Modric. After an impressive 4-year stint with Tottenham in England, he would go on to join Real Madrid in 2014 at the age of 27. Fast forward 11 years and 500 games later, Luka is still playing consistent football for Real Madrid at the age of 38, despite Real Madrid having some of the best young midfielders in the world. Luka has gone on to reach unprecedented heights that I'm sure not even Madrid fans thought he could reach when he initially signed. In fact, after his first year at the club, he was voted the worst La Liga signing of the season due to a disappointing start. Like the others, Modric's peak has definitely come after turning 30. Since then, for Madrid, he has gone on to win 4 more Champions Leagues and a further 2 La Ligas all, whilst being an integral part to the greatest club in the world. Fast forward 4 years from his signing to 2018, and Luka Modric at the time became the 4th oldest player ever to win the Ballon d'Or at the age of 33, after winning his 3rd Champions League in a row and captaining Croatia to a World Cup final as the star man. He has never shown signs of slowing down. At age 35, he was voted Real Madrid's Player of the Season in 2021, having established himself as one of the greatest midfielders of all time. At the age of 38, he has still managed to feature in 16 out of Madrid's first 19 games, as they currently sit top of La Liga. Ever since Todd Boehly came in at Chelsea, things have taken a turn for the worse. In a year and a half, he has already gone through 3 different managers, spent well over £1 billion, mostly on unproven promising youngsters, and overseen Chelsea to unexpected lows in the Premier League table. Despite all the expensive signings, promising youngsters being bought during this time period, there has been a consistent rock at the back who has stood out above the rest. 39-year-old Thiago Silva has arguably been Chelsea's best player since he signed for the club back in 2020 at age 35. Thiago Silva arrived at Chelsea already as a legend after winning 25 major trophies across his time in Milan and Paris. While initially only signing on a one-year deal, he has now entered his fourth year at the club after proving his worth season after season. Whilst being at Chelsea, he has managed to win the competition that has eluded him his whole career. In 2021, when Silva was 36 years old, he started in a Champions League final for back-to-back years after losing in the final in 2020 with PSG. Although he went off injured in the 39th minute, Havertz's goal before halftime was enough to win the match. Even though he is now almost 40, in the past year he has been named Chelsea Player of the Year in 2023. And he also became Chelsea's oldest ever goal scorer after he scored in a 4-all draw against Manchester City in November. While these next players may not be as legendary as the names mentioned, their longevity at the top level is undeniable. Pepe is now 40 years old and has recently made his return back to Porto. In December 2023, he became the oldest outfield player ever to play in the Champions League. Not only that, he went on to score in the match, becoming the oldest ever goal scorer in the competition. Jesus Navas at age 38 is still captaining and playing regular football for Sevilla, although they are not having their greatest of seasons this year. Olivier Giroud is still scoring regularly for AC Milan at the age of 37, a player who has scored some of the best goals in the past few decades. There is still one legend who may be performing at a higher level than the others mentioned. That would be the current Ballon d'Or holder Lionel Messi, who is currently 36 years old. Just over a year ago, Leo completed his football journey as he managed to captain his country to World Cup victory. Not only was he captain, but he was also the tournament's best player as well, scoring 7 goals all at age 35. This triumph was coming off the back of a tricky spell in Paris, with a lot of outsiders doubting whether we had already seen the best of Messi. Not only did he prove them wrong, but he went on to win the Ballon d'Or controversially in 2023, becoming the second oldest player of all time to win the award. I say controversially not because he didn't deserve it, but there was another man who would have won it in pretty much any other year. Like Cristiano, after a difficult time at his previous club, Messi too has taken a step out of Europe as retirement draws closer. Messi joined Inter Miami in the summer of 2023, taking America by storm. In the 6 months he has been in Miami, he has already won the club the first trophy in their history, with Messi scoring in the game and his penalty in a penalty shootout victory over Nashville in the final. After winning his 8th Ballon d'Or, he was also named Time Athlete of the Year, becoming the first footballer to ever win the award. With Messi calling up all his mates to come and join him in the MLS like Luis Suarez, I can imagine his performances won't be dropping off anytime soon. Not only are these players some of the best of all time, but even in 2024, they are still performing to elite levels.
There's only one Zlatan.
Are you sure?
Yeah. You know Zlatan?